The Invitation is a new horror movie that's in theaters and is not worth your time because it's freaking boring. I gotta say, um, before going into this movie, I didn't really know anything about it because I didn't watch the trailer. And what I did by mistake, I heard a lot of people say that the trailer spoiled the movie. I looked up the trailer. So I watched this trailer. Now, now, thankfully, so I watched it after the movie. But the trailer spoils everything in this movie. So if you're someone who watched that trailer and was like, "Oh, this movie looks interesting," guess what? You seen the whole movie for the most point, and it ruins all the major twists in the movie. Now, I hear the argument here of, well, it doesn't really matter if it's a good movie. And you're right, it doesn't matter if it's a good movie that the twist is spoiled. Like, if you go into The Sixth Sense knowing the twist ending, it doesn't really matter. The Sixth Sense is still a great movie that's incredibly engaging, as a great performance by Bruce Willis. Uh, Haley Joel Osment's great in that movie, yeah. And the twist, I mean, it actually helps if you know the twist watching it in future viewing. So it actually enhances your viewing of that movie. So like the twist doesn't ruin that movie knowing it, right? I feel this is a movie that I think what's wrong with it is this. It's not so much that the trailer ruined all those twists and turns. It's that the twist doesn't really do enough to make the film worth it. This movie is incredibly slowly paced, and it just moves at a snail's pace throughout the whole thing. And that would be fine if what this film was building up to, what the twists were, what the story was, or the performances, or how the film looks isn't engaging. It's not. It's the acting is actually pretty meh. Like, it's not great. It's not really good either. And so a lot of the performances are just whatever. And so when you get to that end, when you get to these twists, when you learn things throughout the story, it doesn't really matter. The movie's still boring as shit because it doesn't really matter because nothing was worth it in the end. And it's a film that you watch by the end and you're like, oh, that was the twist. And you might watch that and be like, oh, that kind of makes things a little bit more worth it the first time. But if you watch it a second time, you're not going to feel that way. Nobody's going to remember this movie. It's just a bland, boring movie that was just moved at the snail's pace. And there's a reason that this movie's gotten a mixed critical review, because it is the kind of movie that if you watch it a first time, you might think, oh, it's all right, it's not great. But as soon as you see it a second time, you're going to realize, man, all that movie was this twist that wasn't even that great of a twist. It wasn't that great of a movie. End of story.